Hello, happy Tuesday. I have your energy update for Tuesday, May 27th. I just recorded a whole video, edited the whole thing, had it ready to go, and then the audio and video were not in sync. It's always interesting to me when that happens. Usually it means there's an important message that's kind of struggling to get out, so stick around. Hi, my name is Paula Taylor. I'm a sound and energy activator, intuitive reader, channeler, body worker, fearless alchemist, and I coach people on the path to spiritual awakening. Just a quick thank you to Gia Prism, who gave me a shout out in her video, tagged me. I know there's a lot of new people here from that, and I'm very appreciative. We've been getting very similar messaging frequencies, and it's always good, I think, to kind of cross-pollinate and help people find other creators that can help them on the path to spiritual awakening. So if you look at the Schumann from last night, it looks like we had a timeline jump. And I have a little bit of more information around that because it doesn't feel like a quote unquote like traditional timeline jump. And there's a lot of information here, so I'm going to try to be concise. Maybe that's why my other video didn't work, but bear with me because this is important. So I made a video last week about these timelines converging, and my guides were calling it like we're moving through the eye of the needle. We have all these timelines, like infinite timelines, and they're kind of getting compressed into more discrete timelines, and then we're kind of moving back out into expansion. And they gave me an updated sort of visualization for this today. You can still think of it as the eye of the needle, or you can think of it as kind of like we're going through a series of tunnels. So we get compressed down into the tunnel. That gives us an opportunity to more easily kind of jump timelines while we're all smushed together. Then we come out and we expand, and the timelines kind of spread back out. And we're going to be doing that over and over again until we reach this huge kind of quote unquote final shift. There's never like a final shift, but until we get to the culmination of this particular process that's in motion right now. You can also think of this as like birthing, like contraction, expansion, and then finally the birth itself. So when you get to these expansive points, it's really important to kind of notice them, catch your breath. It's also really important to be aware that you're not on the wrong timeline. That's not a thing. If you are here, if you're watching awakening videos, if you are setting the intention to bring more clarity, expansion, and harmony in your life, if you're doing the shadow work around that, that's an important thing that sometimes people don't mention. On the road to awakening, there's a lot of shadow work that needs to be done. We do this shadow work individually, and then that gets reflected back collectively. So we also have individual timelines, and you're always kind of moving back and forth. What's different right now is that there are more people than ever before aware of this, and we are purposely moving kind of in this in and out pattern together in order to bring about this huge humanity-wide shift into more clarity, expansion, and harmony, or 5D consciousness, or New Earth, awakening, ascension, whatever word you want to use for that. So right now they want us to focus on letting go of our old stories. And again, as we do this individually, then it gets reflected back in the collective. We are carrying around these old stories, these old limiting beliefs that have been around not just for generations, but for millennia. These are really old kind of packaged ideas of like how we're supposed to work in the world, how the world itself works, what our relationship is with other people in the world. We are really being asked to release that. I was lying in bed last night. There was a huge expansion that I felt. And as part of that, my guides were saying, you need to let go of these old stories. And they were showing me all these old memories. And some of them were good memories. And I was kind of like, oh, do I have to let go of my good memories? And they were like, you need to get them out of your system. You need to get them out of your body somatically and out of the immediate field surrounding your body. And the analogy they gave me for that was like, instead of storing it on the hard drive, you're going to be storing it on the cloud drive. We need to kind of move these things out of our space in order to make space for the new. You might have been having a big call to declutter physically. We are doing the same thing energetically. And as we do both physical and energetic decluttering, then we make space for the new. We make space for the next big expansion for ourselves. So I felt a huge expansion last night. And then when I woke up this morning, I was a little bit like, whoa, where did it go? It feels a little bit back into like we're already sort of heading into the next eye of the needle. And we're doing this so fast that my guides were saying like it's almost not even important to know exactly where you are. It's important to trust the process and trust the messages that are coming through. trust that you are headed in the right direction. Don't worry about which timeline you're on, whether it's dense, whether it's expanded, whatever it is. Again, if you're here, if you're watching this content, if you're doing the work around this, you are going to end up in your highest and most expanded timeline. And you're always going to have the opportunity to shift. Right now, we just have this opportunity to shift faster than we ever have before. I've been doing this work on myself for over 30 years, professionally for over 20 years. I have never seen things move this quickly. I have never seen this many people awaken together and in this short of a period of time, like over the last 2 years or so. This is a really exciting time to be on a spiritual journey, to be alive, and it can feel like a lot. So last night, what looks like a timeline jump on the Schumann resonance, the way they explained it to me is like, it's more of like a bump. We were kind of stuck in the tunnel. We were stuck in the eye of the needle. You may have been feeling that, like this energy of like waiting. Where am I going? What's happening? We needed 555. We needed a little bit of a bump. That's a transformation number. We needed a little bit of a push into the next expansion so that we could have the next like piece of the transformation puzzle kind of come together. Now, you might not have felt that exactly when it happened. You might be anywhere in this process. You might be in the integration, in the release, in the shadow work. You might be in the activation, in the expansion. Trust where you are. Let go of the worry. I was driving to my office today and I was kind of like, what is going on? And how am I going to explain this to people? And I was like a little bit feeling kind of just like unsure. And so I was like, I'm just going to wait and see what comes through. And I turned the radio on and Heaven is a Place on Earth by Belinda Carlisle was playing. And I was like, okay, I get the message. We are heading toward a more expanded existence together. And if you are setting the intention to be on that journey, you are on that journey. If you are doing the work around being on that journey, which a lot of times starts with trauma work and releasing, somatic releasing, moving into past life releasing, karmic releasing, like there's so many layers to this, and you can think of it kind of like sediment. If you take a pond and you shake it up, you're going to get, everything's going to look kind of cloudy and like a little bit chaotic, and then things are going to settle, and the heaviest things kind of settle at the bottom. So we are in this process of like continually shaking things up so that the heavier stuff can settle out, so that we have access to more clarity, to more expansion, to more harmony. So trust that you're in the right place. Trust that you're being led where you need to go. Do the work of releasing the old stories, however that shows up for you. Reach out for one-on-one help from someone you trust if that calls to you. Just let go of the doubt, let go of the worry, let go of the like, what timeline am I on and where am I going to end up, and just trust the process of this kind of release and expansion, this birthing process. At a certain point when you're getting born, there's no choice but to be born, right? You can't stay in the womb forever. You got to make your way through into the big wide world, even if it seems a little bit scary and overwhelming. So energy-wise today, I'm going to give you, the way it's coming through is like, wherever you are on your journey, this energy is going to take you to what's next. It's not a specific type of energy. It's specifically going to move you in the direction you need to go. So don't do this while you're driving. If you can, close your eyes, put a hand or even two on your heart. Put something in the comments showing that you consent to receive this. I always send energy for the highest and most benevolent good. This just tells my guides that they can come through fully when you're watching this video. Sia takaya nakia takaya takia takaya nakia takia nakaya takawa takaya nakia takia ashite kanaya takia na o takanaya takia e takaya na ko taka ke takanaya takia nakaya takia aya takia nakaya takoa takaya takia takia nakaya ke takaya nakaya takia takaya nakia takaya taka kwe shanakaya takia nakaya takia takaya nakia taka kwe yamai 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 uya say Wherever you are on this journey, know that you are loved, know that you are supported. Allow yourself to receive that support, to step into clarity, expansion, and harmony. And so it is. Have a beautiful day.